Hey guys, Croft is here. In this video I'll combine all the Alien and the Predator movies to establish the complete timeline of Predators, Engineers, and Aliens. I know there are major plot holes if we're trying to connect Predator and Alien canon, such as David creating xenomorphs and Weyland being alive after AVP. So I'll briefly mention how these plot holes can be resolved, and for the detailed explanation, check out my previous video, Did the Engineers Create the Predators? Given the fact that all three species exist in the same universe, here's the complete timeline of everything that happened so far on the screen. 3.2 billion years ago, an extraterrestrial race, the Engineers, arrived on Earth and created life using a mysterious substance, which is supposedly the blood of the first deacon, according to the early Prometheus script. 2996 BC, the Predators, another extraterrestrial race, arrives on Earth and teaches humans to build pyramids. As a result, pyramids are built all across the globe in the next centuries. It's highly likely that Engineers created the Predators as one of their experiments with the black goo. Every 100 years, Predators come back to Earth and use pyramids as hunting grounds against xenomorphs to initiate young Yautja in the warrior status. 2896 BC, after a failure to defeat xenomorphs, Predators activate self-destructive mechanism to eliminate all traces of xenomorph infestation. 34th year of current era. Engineers prepare to launch a ship filled with pathogen ampuls to destroy life on Earth, but the infection gets released and kills the Engineers on LV-223. On the top of that, according to the early script, Engineers decided to destroy humans because of the crucifixion of Jesus, who was the last hope of humanity to stop being a violent race. 1718, pirate captain Raphael Adolini must fight his crew that turned against him, and the predator Yautja, referred as the Golden Angel, helps him in the fight. At the end of the encounter, the captain gives the Yautja his flintlock pistol as a trophy with the engraving Raphael Adolini 1715. 1987, a Yautja lands in the jungles of Central America and hunts an elite mercenary team assigned by Homer Phillips and led by Major Alan Dutch Schaefer. All of Dutch's team are killed one by the Yautja before the predator is faced and killed by Dutch. From Predator 2018, we know that the Yautja came to Earth not just for hunting, but to collect DNA of the best human soldiers. October 1st, 1990, Mumbai, India. Peter Weyland is born to a family of an Oxford professor of mythology and a self-taught engineer, Bishop Weyland, the chairman of Weyland Industries. One of the plot holes is that in AVP, Charles Bishop Weyland dies, however in Prometheus, another Weyland runs Weyland Corporation. That can be easily explained by the fact that Charles Bishop Weyland is the father of Peter Weyland. 1997, Los Angeles, California. A Yautja lands in Los Angeles and faced by Lieutenant Harrigan as well as the military team known as the OWLF unit led by Special Agent Peter Keyes. The unit has detailed information about the Yautja and records of the 1987 incident. Lieutenant Harrigan defeats the Predator and faces a group of Yautja. They give him Raphael Adolini's pistol as a trophy. 2004, days after his 14th birthday, Peter Weyland is granted a method patent for a synthetic trachea constructed entirely of synthetically engineered stem cells. October 3rd, 2004, the Predator ship approaches Antarctica and activates the pyramid for the hunt. October 10th, 2004, a Weyland Industries team led by Bishop Weyland explores the pyramid, where they are caught in a battle between the Yautja and the xenomorphs. The predator named Scar kills Bishop Weyland, then teams up with Alexa Woods to destroy the temple and freeze the xenomorph queen, which is technically still frozen somewhere in the ocean. Scar is injured and eventually dies. To honor his accomplishment against the xenomorphs and the Queen, elders bring his body on the ship. October the 11th, 2004. Somehow Scar was impregnated either by the alien queen or one of the facehuggers. When the ship is on the Earth's orbit, a hybrid between Predator and Alien, the Preda-Alien, bursts out of the Scar's dead body. October the 14th, 2004. The ship with Preda-Aliens crashes in Gunnison, Colorado. Several facehuggers and the Preda-Alien escape, invading the town and creating more xenomorphs. A Yautja named Wolf arrives and fights xenomorphs and Preda-Aliens in a battle with a group of local people caught in the middle. United States government deals with the situation in an extreme way by dropping a nuclear bomb on the city. A recovered Yautja shoulder cannon is delivered to a woman identified as Miss Yutani. 2010. 8 individuals are abducted from Earth, dropped on an unknown planet, and hunted by 3 super predators. They discover that they are being hunted for sport, but after teaming up with a Yautja, they manage to defeat the super predator. 2012. After the death of Charles Bishop Wayland in 2004, his son Peter Wayland inherits his shares of the company, and at the age of 22, Peter founds Wayland Industries. 2018. It's revealed that predators collect DNA of species from different planets to enhance their own DNA. The ultimate predator visits Earth to collect more samples of human DNA and continue the process of hybridization. 2019. Events of Blade Runner. It may come as a surprise for some people, but Blade Runner franchise is officially in the Alien canon. 2023. Peter Wayland is awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his cancer cure. In his legendary TED Talk, Sir Peter Wayland clarifies his vision for Wayland Corporation, laying the groundwork for the next 50 years of building better worlds. April 1st, 2042. David 4 becomes the first commercially available model of the David series. 2045. Peter Wayland activates his personal android David, who eventually becomes a son-like figure for Peter, whose only child is a daughter. 2049. Events of Blade Runner 2049. 2089. Dr. Elizabeth Shaw and Charles Holloway discover a star map in a Scottish cave dating back to 35,000 years. 2092. Ellen Ripley is born. 2093. Under contract to Wayland Corporation seeking the origins of humanity, the spaceship Prometheus arrives at LV-223 after 2 years of space travel. The crew finds a large structure and a room filled with pathogen urns, which later turns out to be a part of the ship. Android David wakes the last engineer who was in a cryosleep. The engineer kills the crew and attempts to send the ship with deadly pathogen to Earth. Captain Yannick sacrifices himself by crashing the ship Prometheus into the engineer's juggernaut. The engineer survives the crash and attacks Elizabeth. However, Dr. Shaw releases the octopus that impregnates the engineer with a deacon. The last survivor, Elizabeth Shaw, and android David depart to the engineer's homeworld. Between 2093 and 2104, David and Elizabeth arrive to Planet 4 and release the pathogen, destroying the local population, which is another race that was seeded by engineers. Elizabeth refuses to help David with his experiments. For that reason, David kills her and uses her body, the black goo, and possibly engineer archives to recreate xenomorph eggs. In fact, David did not create xenomorphs. The black goo had the xenomorph DNA in it, so David used the pathogen and after many experiments was able to revive the xenomorph species that existed long time ago. 2104, the Covenant ship discovers an inhabitable planet after being struck by a starburst on their way to Origai 6. The ship receives a rogue transmission and the crew decides to investigate the planet. It turns out that the uncharted paradise is actually a dark and dangerous world, though sole inhabitant is the synthetic David. David uses the crew as hosts to span xenomorphs. He kills Walter, another android, and impersonates him. The movie ends with David in charge of the ship with 2,000 colonists, 1,000 of human embryos, and 2 xenomorph embryos. David may be going to Oragai 6 to create his own xenomorph colony by impregnating colonists in hypersleep with alien embryos. Or he may be going to the engineer's actual homeworld to destroy it using xenomorphs as a weapon. July the 3rd, 2122, the crew of the Weyland-Yutani spaceship Nostromo is awakened from hypersleep to investigate a signal coming from the moon Acheron LV-426. There, one of the crew members, Kane, finds an engineer's ship very similar to the one seen in Prometheus. Kane discovers a fossilized engineer in biosuit and a few dozen of xenomorph eggs in the cargo. Kane explores the eggs and a facehugger attaches itself to him. The resulting xenomorph hunts the crew, killing them one by one. The sole survivor, Officer Ellen Ripley, is able to burst the xenomorph in the outer space. 2159, Weyland-Yutani establishes Hadley's Hope settlement as a terraformer colony on LV-426. June the 12th, 2179, Ripley returns to Earth and then accompanies a group of colonial marines to investigate LV-426 after Weyland-Yutani loses contact with a terraforming colony. They discover that xenomorphs have overrun the colony and encounter an alien queen. Ripley, Dwayne Hicks, and a young girl, Rebecca Jordan, are the only survivors after the station explodes, killing the xenomorphs. Ripley fights and kills the xenomorph queen, then, along with Dwayne and Rebecca, she enters hypersleep for the return trip to Earth. 2179, turned out that the alien queen left several eggs on board of the ship. The eggs hatch while Ripley, Hicks, and Rebecca are in hypersleep. A fire breaks out and the hypersleep pods are ejected on Fiorina 161. Ripley is the only survivor and is rescued by the inmates of an all-male prison facility. A facehugger escapes the vehicle and an alien soon attacks the prisoners. Ripley learns that she has an alien queen embryo inside her, and after defeating the xenomorph, she sacrifices herself to prevent Weyland-Yutani from obtaining the xenomorph embryo. 2356, samples of Ripley's blood are recovered from Fiorina 161. 2379, the United Systems military clones Ripley using her blood and extracts the alien queen from her. The Ripley's clone shares part of the queen's DNA and has alien-like abilities. 2381, the military breeds xenomorphs on the ship Auriga and conducts experiments in order to use them as weapons. Xenomorphs break out and overtake the ship, killing everybody. Ripley and several mercenaries make their way through the ship fighting xenomorphs until they eventually face the newborn, a human xenomorph hybrid. Ripley kills the newborn and escapes with the rest of the crew while the ship crashes into Earth, destroying the aliens. So that wraps up the timeline for now. I only covered events that we've seen in Alien and Predator movies, but there are many more interactions between engineers, predators, and xenomorphs in comic books and video games. However, I did not include this material because that would make this video about half an hour long. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like if you enjoyed the video and leave a comment if you would like to see engineers, predators, and xenomorphs all in the same movie. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel to get more alien and predator content. Thanks again guys for watching. My name is Croft and I'll see you in the next video.